You are watching the Sunday Motivational video. 15 signs you should drop out. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, we know you've been waiting for this video for a while now, and the time has come to deliver on this promise. Many of you have reached out in the past with different versions of the same question. Hi Alux, my name is so-and-so. I'm a student in year whatever, and I'm considering dropping out. Do you think this is a good idea? First of all, this is something only you can decide, because you're the one who's going to have to live with the consequences of this decision. That said, we still wanted to give you this reference video to check against your own reality and figure out if dropping out is the right move for you. These will be the most valuable 20 minutes or so of your next 10 to 20 years, so pay attention. You're here voluntarily after all. Yes, many successful people have dropped out to pursue their entrepreneurial careers, but they didn't do so because they thought school was too hard. They were more or less forced to do so because their new companies demanded it. Just keep in mind that Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard, not out of gender studies. With that said, here are 15 signs you should drop out. Number 1. You chose the wrong career. For some reason, you chose a vertical that's not for you. You probably listened to a third party who pushed you to follow this path, and now that you're on it, your entire world comes crashing in because you don't see yourself doing this for the rest of your life. Before you drop out, figure out if there are any ways for you to pivot without losing your existing credits or starting over altogether. In this due diligence, people usually find that a fitting career path is right next to what you're already doing, and in reality, there was only one or two things you didn't like about what you were already studying anyway. If there isn't and you feel like you screwed up massively, cut your losses short and start over. Number 2. You're uninspired in the classroom. We get it. Some teachers can be a pain in the backside, but that doesn't mean you have to immediately drop out. If you're as smart as you think you are, you'll be able to differentiate between the lack of passion a teacher has and how exciting your field of study actually is. If none of these apply, only then should you take into consideration the idea of dropping out. Before you do, figure out if this inspiration you're looking for exists in other universities, or if you're just throwing a tantrum over nothing. Number 3. You feel like you're wasting time. Here's the truth with this one. As a student, you're already wasting the majority of your time, so this shouldn't be an excuse to drop out. It is only when the hours you spend in the classroom could make a real difference in your pursuit of success that making this trade is worthwhile. Personally, for us, high school was a big time waster because very few things we were taught had any correlation to the real world. But it's in the same environment where we made multiple friends who would eventually become business partners because we got the chance to interact in that environment, and then did our own thing on the side. Same thing happened during university. When we saw no value to a class, we would be out at events, networking and learning from people. The point is, you can do both if you're smart. Number 4. You don't want to go into more debt. Depending on where you live, getting an education comes with some financial chains you have to carry. In the US, people in their 40s and 50s are still paying off student debt, which is complete bollocks. There's a strong case to be made that instead of going $100,000 into debt, you could take the same money and build a startup. In the same 4 to 5 year span that you would spend in the classroom, the return on your money when it comes to a valuable skill set and know-how skews dramatically in favor of real-world experience. Building a business teaches you way more about how the marketplace behaves and will open up new doors that are unavailable to even those with a degree. You're more likely to land a job if you ran a startup that failed than right off the steps of a university. Number 5. Other people are successful at what you want to do without a degree. Here's the thing. If you want to be a lawyer or a doctor or anything that requires a formal degree, then you gotta do what you gotta do. For everything else, you have to look at who's winning in their space and what allowed them to get to where they are. The marketplace is changing. Very few industries still care about a degree, and these are usually old and struggling. If you look at the most prosperous industries today, you'll see a large portion of their workforce isn't formally educated. Instead, they have real-life skills which they perfect and deploy to help the company grow. But don't assume these people didn't spend years of their lives learning. Do not confuse a degree with someone's ability to perform in the marketplace. There's this short but great book we read toward the beginning of the year that's called Company of One by Paul Jarvis, which we strongly recommend you get if you ended up on this video. You're gonna love it. After reading it, you'll understand how times are changing, how being a contractor has way more benefits than being a traditional employee, and how you can leverage this change to cash in big time. We like this book so much, we reached out to our friends at Audible to see if we can get the audiobook version to all of you for free. All you have to do is go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up. If this is your first time using Audible, you'll get the Company of One or any other one book of your choosing for free. Number 6. You value creativity over rigidity. There's this amazing quote that we love from movie director Quentin Tarantino that goes like this: "People ask me if I went to film school. I tell them no, I went to films." Which kind of brings together this entire point. If you want to be an artist, art school, in whatever form that might take, is nice to have. You get to play with really expensive toys and learn how to do things from a fundamental perspective. But if you want to stand out, you'll have to break away from the norm. Everybody in your class is learning the same techniques, and you're all competing for this really slim chance of exposure. These days, this exposure has been democratized by social media. In minutes, you can put your things up online and get instant feedback from real people. Do it enough times, and not only will you build a following that is more than willing to support your art, but also your online presence is now your resume. Start a visual blog, and the next thing you know, you're getting booked to work with big brands who want what you're offering. However, here's an important distinction we need to make. Businesses get started by creatives, people who have ideas, right-brain people, but they are grown by organized ones, people who create rules and are disciplined. You know, the left-brain people. If you're going at this alone, you better have a good grasp on both of these, otherwise you're gonna fail. Number 7. You're already earning more from your business than from your potential career. You want to know if it's the right time to drop out? Well, how successful are you outside of academia? See what we're hinting at here? Many people want to drop out for various reasons, but lack that other avenue that's outperforming traditional education. If you want to drop out, build something that will keep you alive doing what you love before you cut the branch from under your feet. The best case scenario is when your side project is already outperforming what others are earning who've already followed the path you're on. If that's your case and you don't have any other weird strings attached, like a deep desire to make your parents proud from an academic perspective, then go ahead, it's the right call. Number 8. You feel like the window on this opportunity is closing. Here's another specific instance where it might be justifiable to drop out. Let's say you have this amazing idea that you have the skills necessary to execute, that's at the forefront of a big cultural or technological change. If you don't do it, someone else will. We're gonna be honest with you, this doesn't happen that often, but when it does, we all end up with search engines, social media, and more crazy ideas that change the world. If you want to be the one who's spearheading this change, and you really believe that you've got what it takes to make this a reality, then go for it. You're better off shooting for the moon than living with the regret of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But maybe you don't have all the pieces yet, but that's where this next point comes in. Number 9. You found a great startup to join. Somebody around you is building the next big company. You're just not aware of it. It's no longer just Silicon Valley in this game. New companies are popping up everywhere in the world right now due to the magical infrastructure of the internet, and it's an incredible thing to witness. If you've got the drive to be part of something big, have a good eye for where things are headed and the skill set necessary to help a team make this a reality, then join a startup early on. We're not sure how many of you are aware of Forbes' last issue and who was on the cover. Daniel Dines founded a company in Romania that's at the forefront of digital bot automation. UiPath is currently valued at $7 billion and on track to become a Deca unicorn in the next couple of years. They've been around for over 15 years, but things became serious about 5 years ago when they decided to pivot and focus on bots. The rest is history. Innovation is happening everywhere. You're just not paying close enough attention. Number 10. You don't feel healthy in this environment. Here's our stance on this. Pressure crafts diamonds, but it also crushes cars and those sofas and washing machines you've seen on YouTube. Our point is to differentiate between the two. If the pressure is making you grow by pushing yourself, keep at it. But if it's all getting out of hand and you're at a point where you feel like quitting life because of it, then screw it. You are the most important person in your life. All happy experiences that await you ahead will not come to fruition if you don't take care of yourself. Getting stressed out to the point where you can no longer enjoy the journey or its prospects cancels it out. Who cares what other people think if you know this is eating you from the inside? Take a year off, learn to meditate, expand your horizons, deal with stress, and if it seems like a good idea, come back. Otherwise, screw it altogether. We know how stressful finals and papers can be, how much pressure teachers, parents, and peers can put on you, but it's your responsibility to learn how to manage it. We've spent over 1 year creating an incredible tool to help with this. We call it Mind Mastery, and it's helped hundreds of people just like you to maintain focus and navigate the stress of it all. We were students once ourselves, and truth be told, without a strong willpower and having meditation in our corner to balance it all out, we would have failed to get through it all. That's why if you go to Alux.com/meditation and use the code ALUXER at checkout, we'll take away 25% of this course price. It's a 21-day challenge that teaches you a skill set that will stick with you for the rest of your life. Go to Alux.com/meditation right now and invest in yourself. Number 11. You're already learning more on your own than you are in a classroom. Just to keep things honest, this should happen either way, and it all brings it back to whether or not you really need that degree to fulfill your goals. Because if you don't, there's no point in not using that time to learn and practice the things that are actually making a difference, instead of getting bored out of your mind in class. Here's where things get interesting. There are some degrees you can get by enrolling in specialization courses. For example, you don't need to go to university for 5 years to become an interior designer. You can enroll and get the same legit qualifications with a 6 to 12-month program. Some of these are also online. Always look for career arbitrage opportunities where you can get ahead through specialization. Number 12. By the time you finish, your future job will be automated. We mentioned UiPath earlier, and for good reason. These guys are building the future of entry-level white-collar jobs. Everything that's repetitive in nature will be automated in the next 10 years. Yes, there will still be employees in place to deal with situations where robots don't exactly know what to do, but the numbers will speak for themselves. Only 1 in 100 people will remain employed, and their job will be to make sure the robots get everything done right. Number 13. What you learn doesn't seem to translate into the real world. This happens a lot with technical majors in developing countries. Because you don't have access to modern technology, you're so far behind what the marketplace is doing that you have no way of competing in this market. Yes, folks, we're entering a new age of technological discrimination, very much in the same way that not being able to speak English today is seen as a major handicap. Teachers are so scared of change that they chain themselves to the same outdated curriculum that they were taught, and it shows. You're left with entire generations uninspired by failed professors who care more about their tutelage than the real success of their students. Number 14. Your major is bullshit. We feel like maybe a trigger warning should be in place for this point, but you knew what you were getting yourself into when you clicked on the video. You need to hear this. Not all disciplines have the same economic value, and that's a fact. Yes, you're entitled to having your own opinion on this, but the marketplace decides what's worth what, and you, Julian, with an H, with a major in liberal arts and a minor in Latin, don't get to complain that you can't find a job that pays what you think your talent is worth. Just because you have a degree, it doesn't mean the marketplace owes you a lifetime of financial rewards and accolades. Here's a list of the top 20 paying skills and how much they earn. If you want to earn that kind of money right out of the gate, you best find a workplace where you can deliver the same kind of value these guys do. It's not too late to change careers, though. You could always drop out. Number 15. You're willing to live with the outcome. The last sign we wanted to touch on this list has to do with a definitive choice you have to make. If you decide to drop out and you're old enough to decide for yourself, you have to be able to live with the outcome. Give it a real shot before you call it quits and be strategic about it. If you're already putting things in place for you to hit the ground running once you drop out, you have a higher chance of success afterwards. Our personal opinion is that if you decide to pursue a traditional career, you should at least put in the effort and finish the classes you're in and then adjust your course after graduation. High school isn't as hard as real life, and we are encouraging everyone to at least stick it out through that. After high school, you decide where you want to go, but quitting earlier than that doesn't really scream success story. Make sure not to prove every one of your haters right by becoming a complete failure. Always be strategic with your choices. We know there are some dropouts in our community, or at least people that considered it, so we're curious to know, when did you decide to drop out? And for everybody else, what made you decide not to drop out? This has the potential to become an incredible forum for discussion, and we can't wait to jump in the conversation in the comments. And of course, as a thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, here's your bonus. Number 16. Enjoy this time in your life. I know this might sound cliche or weird, but you'll never be this age again. You'll never get to experience life through the eyes you have right now. Yes, take your professional life seriously, but not at the expense of these years. Even if you become successful, you'll look back at these days and only then understand just how amazing it all was, how much potential for lifetime memories there is right now. Don't do anything stupid, but enjoy yourself. You need to learn to make the most out of every stage in your life, so do that now before you move any further down your path. If you've made it this far into the video, we want to say thank you. Please write the word moment in the comments, and we'll be sure to show some love to the true Aluxers who always watch with us until the end. Also, we want to congratulate you for spending the last few minutes with us pondering your life choices. Hopefully you found something valuable in this today. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos for you to watch next. As always, the conversation continues on social media. Thanks again, and we can't wait to have you back tomorrow.